Qigong. Good, and we're going to focus a little bit on the kidney element tonight, or the kidney organ. And we're going to start knocking on the door of life. And when we knock on the door of life, we knock just below the belly, and we knock with the hand over the kidney at the back. So some soft standing, soft ankles, soft knees, dropping your tailbone, feeling your spine dropping down, your lumbar spine dropping down. And then as you tuck your chin in and have your head feeling as if it's lifting to the sky, feel that your neck or your cervical spine is lengthening as well. Soft shoulders, a little gap between the legs at the groin, and almost enough space for a little squash ball under your axilla there. And from there, let's just start turning, knocking just below the navel in front and opposite on the back area. So we're knocking on a point called the sea of energy in front, and we're knocking on the door of life, or Ming Men. Ming being a door. I'm pretty sure it's that way around. You can allow your heels to come off as you do it, so it's a little bit more bouncy, and you can speed it up a little bit if you want to, but give yourself a nice bounce off your body as you do these movements. So you're stimulating the kidney, stimulating the adrenal glands, stimulating the received energy. So this is a nice yang wake up energy practice. And at the same time, your spine is long and upright. So we're getting rotation through, particularly the low back, and a little bit of nice movement of the pelvis as well. Then bringing one hand up just below the clavicle into shoulder nest, that little hollow, which is your lung 1 and 2. Very good for improving your immunity, also keeping your rib cage nice and flexible. Other hand still knocking on the back. Easy breathing in and out through your nose if you can. It's going to relax the blood vessels when you breathe in and out through the nose, because you get the release of nitric oxide as the air flows through the sinuses. One hand over the angle of the neck, over your trapezius, over your gallbladder point 31, which is needled for clear thinking. And why that could be is if we actually relax the upper trapezius, which is tight in about 80% of all headaches, you have tight trapezius. So as we release the trapezius here, then when you don't have a headache, you can think much more clearly. And down to shoulder nest. Nice exercise to warm up in winter. And down to the belly. And slow it down, but allow your hands just to move around through the air, move around through your magnetic field, and also the magnetic field of the nature around you. So just like you'd go through water and you're making ripples in the water, so you're making ripples in this, and I'm going to call it we've got a biomagnetic field here. Our biomagnetic field interacting with the rest of the field around us. And as you're doing this, just let your mind drop inwards. Notice how your shoulders feel as they turn. Notice your feet on the ground. Notice your fingers. And just notice how you feel as you come into this gong practice this evening. And relax. Right, feet a little bit closer, and we're going to do some spiraling of our arms. So the the spiraling is very, very strong in releasing energy throughout our body. And as I say, when you think about the spiral, 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 if you spiraled a piece of elastic or something, you let it go, okay, shoot off. I've seen sweet pea pods, like they're very dry and then they spiral, and as they release all the seeds get spread all over. So you can just imagine all the little cells lying along our fascia and in our fascia, but throughout the whole body, whichever tissue it is. Once you twist it and release, twist it and release, we really bring energy into that area and clear stuck stuff. Okay, so one hand behind your back, other hand in front of you, about the waist level, and you are going to take that hand behind you, lift the opposite heel so that you turn to look behind you, and this thumb is spiraling, spiraling, spiraling. And then as you come back, this arm lifts up, and now you're spiraling the little finger as you go around to the other side, lifting your opposite heel, come back, and clear. Opposite hand. Right, spiraling so that your thumb faces down. Lift your opposite heel and turn to look at your hand. See how far you can go back. Coming back, lifting your arm up. High, high, high. Lift, open your shoulder, open your elbow. Turning your little finger in, coming back and down. Swap over. One hand in front. Turning, turning, turning. Thumb faces down. Look behind over your shoulder. See if you can spiral that thumb even more right up through to the shoulder. And then unwind, unwind, unwind. So we're winding up and we're unwinding. Little finger spirals around right to the other side. Come back and down. Change hands. Thumb down, round you go. Really winding up through the arm to the shoulder, and then lift up as you spiral. Little finger coming round this time. Coming back. Let's do one more with each hand. You may find that you go a little bit further each time. Have a lift in that spiral, little finger turning. And back. And clear down. Last one. Reach across and round you go. And up. Okay. Good and clear. Right, let's just clear any tension behind the shoulders, in the shoulders, upper back, in your muscles, in your mind, anything heavy, whether it's muscular or emotions, just let it go. Let's do a drop and turn. So you're just going to drop and turn to the side. And the drop goes with the out breath through the mouth whenever we're clearing. So accentuate that. and relax. Shake it out a little bit. And hands behind your back, opening across your pec muscles here. Keep your chin tucked in. And nice deep breath in. And drop your ear down to your shoulder. Drop, just get a bit of time to drop. Make sure your tailbone's tucked down. And when you've gone as far as it feels comfortable to go, let's do some chin circles. Make them quite wide. You may feel a bit of creaking in your neck. And this is the way to uncreak it. Opposite direction. Whoa, mine's really creaking. But in the winter, everything tightens up, all your soft tissue tightens up. And bring your head up to the center. Big breath in and drop down, breathe out. And circle. Just easy breathing into a circle. Opposite direction. Okay, hands up to the side and bring your wrists up, open your fingers. And you are stretching horizontally now through the arms and vertically through the head down to the tailbone. Soften your knees, soften your ankles, tuck your chin in. Breathe in and drop your head down to the one side. Probably a little bit tingly on the opposite side, hands there. And then do a diagonal looking up to the sky and slowly looking down to the ground. And as you do that, clench your teeth together. I'm just going to stretch the front of your neck a little bit more. Just try that. First, you're going to go up, down, up, down. Back to center. We'll keep our arms up. We give ourselves a little bit of a challenge just to stay there in relaxation. And breathe in, breathe out to the opposite side. Drop down. Look down to the floor. Tighten your teeth together and look above you on a diagonal, looking up and down and looking up. One more, looking down and looking up and relax. Whew. It's quite hard. Right, let's move the body like the river. And let's start off just moving in a more or less upright position, just noticing how your weight transfers from side to side. So the one leg is full, one leg is empty. And as you do that, you're going to be doing a little bit of stretch on the inner thigh muscles, on your adductors as you do that. And that you're going to slowly start sitting down a little bit more. So on your bottom until your hands are just above your knees. And now we're going to move hips, lower back, mid back, and head. So hips, back, and head. Moving your body like a river. Well, I actually love the concept of seaweed in the ocean, because if you see kelp, the way it moves as the wave moves through the kelp forest, that's the feeling you want to have in your body. And see if that feeling can go right through into your neck as well as the lower back. And breathe into one side, breathe out to the other side. Maybe you want to push the river a little bit, come up, stand a little bit higher. Feeling that you're pushing through the water. You can feel the sense of the current as you do that. So you begin to become sensitive enough to feel the air. Come back down, and what we're going to do here is you can put elbow on one knee, a little bit of nice wide stance there, and this one's going to go up and over, having a nice stretch from your hand all the way down the foot on the other side, and then come up and to the other side. Elbow on your knee, other hand over, just do it in your own time. Try and get your arm in line with your head and your shoulder there. Get it over as far as you're happy to stretch. Hang into that stretch a little bit. Give it a little bit of time for the tissue to lengthen. You can breathe in as you're stretching here. Or don't worry about the breath, just do it however your breath comes to you. Focus on the stretching through the shoulder, elbow, through the hips, through the waist, and over. Over. So when we think about the kidneys, we think about strengthening the whole lower back area. And all these exercises are asking quite a bit of mobility in that area, but quite a lot of holding strength there as well. And hands in front of you, come down, stretch your hamstrings, drop your head. Hang down there for a little bit. And slowly roll up. Take your hands up slowly, slowly, slowly. Keep your chin tucked in there. And relax, come down. Come back in a little bit there. Okay, working through the hips. And you can do it freestanding, or you can do it with a chair if you're older like me. But the reason I'm using the chair is I want to get a good swing across. I want to get a swing across that's closing the hip, adducting the hip. And when I come back, I want a big, wide abduction and down. So if you can do that, just putting your hands on top of the tiger's head. So going there and then around and down, do it. It's a really good balance exercise. But I want you to really think about getting the full range. So you swing and all the way up and down. Just do a couple of those. With a chair, without a chair, just on tiger heads. Swing and open and down. So we don't open our hips enough. And that's where your femoral artery and vein and femoral nerve coming through the groin. And when we sit a lot, this is where you get a lot of stagnation. Try and lift it higher if you can, but don't irritate your groin. Try the other side. And let's go back a little bit. There we go. Swing, open, down. Swing, open, down. Swing, down. Down. And relax. Good. Okay. We're going to do another spiral for the kidneys. So opening your legs a little bit there. And you're going to take, your hands are going to come behind you. Take one hand in your wrist and you bring it up as far as you can. and that arm's going to stay there. Other arm's going to come out in front, and we're going to allow this leg to lift because we're going to spiral round and round and round. Now we want to go right back to look over our shoulders. So you may find that the other leg, the knee and the foot, are not really happy with that. So what we're going to do is, as we go round, as I say, this that foot can lift off, or the heel can lift off. With this foot, just allow it to turn a little bit, because the exercise is better if you can turn and sink down and look behind you, right behind your back, and then come back. As this one comes back, the other hand gets opened right up there. Okay, it's good for your shoulder as well. And wide stance, so other hand comes across, opens, lift your heel up, turn this foot if you want to be able to go further around, all the way around, balance there, and then slowly come back. And now that hand is going to be lifted up by the opposite one, higher into the back. And here comes your hand forwards, turning the heel, sinking down if you can, and looking behind you, shoulder coming around and coming back. This hand now gets lifted higher up the back with the other one. I'm exaggerating it. And hand comes across. Lift that back heel and look behind you. Very good exercise for balance. Very good for kind of wringing out the kidney as well. Lift up. Opposite one. We'll do one more to each side. Your hand comes up, around, turn, lifting that heel, turn the other foot so that you can sink down as you go around. Coming back, feet into the better position. And last one, lifting up your arm, other hand coming forwards, swivel on your heel, lift the other heel up, sink down onto the front leg, look behind you, and come back. And relax. Good, and let's just do a little bit of knocking over the kidney, up and down kidney, and the adrenal glands on top. And of course, the kidney is paired with the urinary bladder. Kidney is a Zhang organ, which means a solid organ, and it's paired with a hollow organ, which would be the bladder. Okay, so down we go, down along the bladder meridian, all the way down to the feet, coming up again, up the kidney, down the bladder. Bladder meridian is much longer. We're just doing half of it as we're doing the kidney here. And come up. And just let's do a little knock over the leg gates, over the quad. Rightio, and shake it out. All right, so we'll go into some kidney flows, and when we're working on strengthening the kidneys, we're working on the emotional part of kidney energy, which is inner peace. Okay, deep, still water, inner peace, and the kidneys are nourishing, kidney meridians nourishing for the bones and the bone marrow. Also focuses on sort of low back complaints or knees, those sort of areas. If your kidney energy is low, you often get creaks and groans in those areas. And kidney opens into the sense organ of the ear. So as you get old and incontinent, you get deaf at the same time. So we want to keep the, over there for as long as possible. All right. Let's do some shaking. So shaking for the kidneys. What's the healing sound? So sounds are healing. And the kidney sound is like the old steam train going up the hill. So it's And now just knock your heels down, because you're thinking in terms of kidneys nourishing the bone. And so we're going to really get a little bit of more of shaking going through the bones, vibration going through the bones. Good for your osteoporosis, but also good for the bone marrow. And what's made in the bone marrow? Lots and lots and lots of red blood cells. And release. Okay. So flow for the kidney, Zen circles. So one hand's going to go behind your back, and it's going to go over the kidney area there, just below the last ribs. The other hand's going to face outwards, not touching, but in front of the forehead there. And you're going to dip down as if you're going into a pond of cool, clear water. And you bring it across your forehead. And you're clearing your mind as you do that. And just feel the peacefulness of dipping down into some clear, cold water and coming up. So in fact, you're thinking about bringing that energy of the water, because the kidney is the water element, right up the kidney meridian. Kidney meridian starts at kidney 1, which is under the foot, just beyond the area below the toes and that thick pad. And if you're drawing the water up through the legs, as you do that, on the inside of the legs, that is where the kidney meridian is. Breathing out as you're going down, breathing in as you come up. In and out through the nose as you breathe. And slow it down and let it become smaller, so that it's more movement through the waist and the hips. And as it gets smaller and smaller, we're leaving the one hand over the kidneys, round about Ming Men. And as we come smaller, we're going to let the index and the middle finger stick out and pop it just in front of the door of life, just below there. And we're going to imagine that the energy is running, really, it's coming in through here and it's running all the way through to Ming Men. So just have a sense of that. There's a very strong connection between Ming Men and the front, just below the navel here. So just imagine you're energizing that area, bringing in some of those magnetic streams, powering up your center here. Warming up the area. And open your arms and change. One hand behind, one hand in front of your head, and down you go. That's an out breath. In. In. Be aware of how you're controlling your back as you do this. Be aware of how your abdominal muscles are working as you do this. Be aware of the movement through your waist. Be aware of that clearing effect as you go past your head. This would be really nice to do if you had a muggy head after a long spot of working at the computer, or just being in an indoor space where there's not lots of fresh air. across and let it come a little bit smaller. Just getting the rotation through your waist and your hips. Notice how your hand feels. It's moving in front. If it's getting a little bit buzzy, buzzy, buzzy. And slowly bring it back towards the navel with your index and your middle finger pointing outwards, feeling that you're powering up the internal part of your body here, just below the dantian. So in the 8 brocades, the sitting version, this is one of the exercises they do, whereas you work on the kidney and then you just visualize the warmth between the kidney and the sea of energy in front. Dropping your tailbone, long spine, chin tucked in. And open up and hold a chi ball. Bring your feet a little bit closer and just notice how your hands are feeling, the connection between the middle of your palms, that old point called Palace of Work or Lao Gong. And as you open and close, feel that your fingers are connected, thumbs are connected. So you feel as if you're stretching gum or you're stretching pastry as you're molding it, and feel as you come together, that little bit of resistance of the energy, rather like 2 north poles coming towards each other, and then pull apart. Notice the buzziness in your fingers as you're basically building up energy in the body with all your spiraling and your stretching. All right, and then the next kidney flow we're going to do is the fountain. So we're going to come down. Kidney energy is starting under the foot there, kidney 1, called bubbling spring. It's going to come all the way up the inside of your legs, and it's going to come up as far as the clavicle. All right, so we're dropping forwards, back of the hands together, bend your knees, and slowly, as if you're pulling that water energy up all the way through the meridian, and then just showering down. Pulling it up. And then as you go down, just imagine that it's just nourishing your whole body as you do that. So getting the fresh water from the well and just nourishing your whole body with it. Imagine what it feels like on a really hot day in the mountain, and you dip into that pool. Probably drink it as well and just pour it all over your body. In through the nose, out through the nose. Allow your movement to be like water, so no starting, no stopping, just continuous, lovely flowing. Now we're going to go into the kidney standing posture. Kidney standing posture is, that would be the lung standing posture, lower tree standing. And here kidneys, we're going to hold the same position, but at the back of the body. So you're going to put more weight onto your heels here, and you bend slightly forward so your hands are facing towards the kidneys. And in that position, just settle into a good position for yourself. Your kidneys are back of the body, just behind the last ribs, those floating ribs. So imagine where your kidneys are. Close your eyes. And And first of all, see if you can do a bit of kidney breathing. Kidney breathing is basically when you breathe into the back and the deepest part of the lungs here. And so if you put your fingers on your last ribs there, you should feel them move as you breathe in, that they expand out. And you can practice that and you'll feel it more and more. Okay, hands back into kidney standing position. And breathe into your kidneys. And the color for the kidneys is a brilliant blue. Just imagine your kidneys a brilliant blue. So the old Taoists called the various organs the jewels of the body. So brilliant blue jewels, the kidney. Feeling colors into the organs is very strengthening for the organs, whereas sounds are more clearing. So you want to strengthen your kidneys. Imagine that brilliant blue, and then just imagine a blue haze coming from your kidneys and just infiltrating the whole of your body, all the way down to your feet, like a blue mist. And that blue mist then coming up the spine and inside all the way to your head, shoulders and your back. And that blue mist slowly shifting off into the nature around you. And send a smile to your kidneys. Just literally a softness of your face, softness between the eyebrows, slight lifting of the sides of the mouth, and then allow that smile just to go internally and down to the kidneys. Thanking the kidneys for all the work they do for you. Very involved in the water transport through the body and cleansing of the blood. Slowly allow your hands to come down. And let's just pull down the heavens. Arms to the side, feeling your connection to gravity here as you lift your arms up. Gravity, gravity, gravity. Big turn as you reach out into nature. And then a big lift up as you stretch up into the universe towards the stars. And just a balancing as you come down. Bring your hands to rest just in front of your dantian. And just close your eyes for a couple of seconds and just allow your body to settle in after the practice. Some nice, long, slow, deep breathing. Feet just do a little bit of walking, just stir that all in. Good. Nice practice.